don't just do this in a home.
No, I do not.
When
It's
did
a
your children?
lifestyle.
When did your children? I don't know about this. When you don't have a book? When did your? When did your
When my children start being nudist when they were 7 and 8 years old.
7 and 8.
Hold on a second. Let me get this point. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to say, I think it's sick and disgusting to walk around naked in front of your kids. If you feel you want to walk around naked, do it in your bedroom behind closed doors.
You think your body's dirty?
Okay.
body's
Now,
not
let me
dirty,
ask: Dana? Are you a nudist also?
Yes, I am.
You are a practicing nudist. I guess that you all come together in groups.
I live the nudist lifestyle.
Nudist lifestyle. So, is there? I don't know. She just said it. Have you seen anybody who's had a problem with that?
No.
Okay, but now, do we know whether or not there is a problem with that?
I don't think so. Living in a community like that, you know, I mean, Koresh, I guess, functioned until somebody stepped in. But, you know, I have not treated any nudists. I mean, I'll be honest with you about that. I've never had anybody that comes to me and says, you know, I got a problem around this.
I'll tell you what, stop right there for a second, Doctor. When we come back, we're going to meet a psychologist, like Rochelle said. There are psychologists who say that this is okay. And you are all wrong. All of you. All of you. You're all wrong. And we're going to find a psychologist who's going to come back and tell you, Doc, you're wrong. We'll be back right after this. Talking about whether or not too close to your child is too close. Like maybe sleeping with your child every single night, marrying your child, or running around nude, even if you are a nudist in front of your children. Whereas we're not real sure whether or not kids understand what that's all about. And joining us right now is Dr. Jeffrey Gardere, a clinical psychologist. Thank you very much for being on the show. You see nothing wrong in what these mothers are doing.
Well, first of all, I must preface this by saying I did a radio show recently where we were talking about the Michael Jackson situation and people sleeping with their kids, and I said categorically...
Wait. Categorically, we're not going to discuss that Michael Jackson situation.
No. What I'm saying was categorically, I said that adults should not sleep with children because there are a lot of witch hunts going on. What I'm seeing here with these particular people is that they have made an individual choice as to how they want to relate to their children. This young lady who has married her son, this is more, I perceive it as a symbolic gesture that she is committed to her son.
Okay, now stop right there. So you tell me that this 3-year-old, 4-year-old boy understands the symbolism in that gesture?
I'm not sure whether he understands the symbolism at this point, but hopefully she will raise him so that he will understand and insulate him from any possible pathology from that particular marriage.
Well, that was a real heavy bite from a psychiatrist, right? possible pathology. Well, what are you saying? What you were saying is that she's not having problems? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I don't mean to belittle you, but, you know, I mean, just come on down here a little bit, Doc.
Okay.
Right here.
He's offering her therapy
with us.
for the future is what he's doing. I hope that's what he's offering her.
No, Dr. D, what I'm saying is that with this having taken place, there is always the possibility, perhaps an increased possibility, that the child may be ridiculed or may take it the wrong way. But if she continues to work with the child and give him the meaning of what that marriage means, then the child will be healthy.
All right, yes, sir.
You mentioned before that there was media coverage at the wedding.
Yes.
What this sounded like to me was you might have been exploiting your child for a cheap publicity stunt just to sell a book.
Not at all.
What do you think?
The ceremony had been planned, and my husband and I both decided to do it when the book was completed, to get publicity for the book, but I would never do anything to harm my child or exploit him.
Well, you see, just in saying that, you planned this out, and you did the stuff.
But you have to understand, my son has grown up with me. He will grow up with me. He relates. We can relate. We're on a level where we can relate. He's accustomed to the kind of person that I am. We can relate on a level whereas I could not relate to someone else's child or another person. But my son and I have this harmony where we can relate.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Are your children walk around nude as well?
Dan and Doris?
Whenever they wish to walk around nude,
Do you hug and kiss them while they're nude and you're nude?
Do I what?
Hug and kiss them, show affection while you're
If they
nude?
wish for a hug or a kiss, yes. Or if
That's a
I
little
feel like
weird.
hugging and kissing them, yes.
That's almost
You know, I've heard,
incestuous.
you know, it seems that a lot of, some of the people in the audience are trying to imply that there is some sort of sexuality
Yes.
going on
Yeah.
between
Right.
these
Absolutely.
parents and their kids. And even though these parents may be living an alternate lifestyle or have done something that is what is considered out of the norm, we have to look at what their motivation is. Is their motivation one of being close to their children, or is it one of getting some sort of sexual intimacy? And I just don't see the sexual intimacy.
Yes, Dan,
I
go ahead.
agree with
Does
that,
she-
but what happens when they leave the house, Dr. Gardia? What happens when they go out? It's one thing in Papua New Guinea to run around in a loincloth.
I don't
but this
think any
is- this
child
is the
in this day and
United
age is
States.
gonna go out
It's
dressed.
acultural. It is acultural.
Well, as I said before, Dr. Catalina, that perhaps the possibility of something happening with these children emotionally
All
is
right.
increased by something that
Okay.
is different this way. That's why you all as parents have to have the extra responsibility of working with these children for them to see what the symbolism and the meaning is about.
Exactly.
Okay, we're going to take a little break because we're going to talk a little bit more about the symbolism and meaning. And I'm going to ask you a hard question. I want you to think about this, Rochelle, while we're on a break. Is this done more for you than it is for him? You lost the father of this child. Wait a minute, please. You lost the father of this child. And I am not a psychiatrist or psychologist. And I don't even want to have anybody think that I'm trying to play that. But I'm going to tell you, as this young man starts to get older, and he starts to look more and more like the father, I just, don't roll your eyes and say, oh my God, I'm gonna tell you that the first time you kiss him at age 11 on the mouth in front of his school, somebody's gonna have a problem with you, and you'll be back on the show talking about they locked me up because they said I did this. We'll be back right after this. We've been having a good time today, I'm telling you. We've been talking about whether or not, you know, going too far with your child and expressing that love to your child is sometimes going too far. And in this case, I asked you the question, and I asked you to do some soul searching about this, because he doesn't look a lot like you, so I assume that he looks a lot more like his father. So what's
But you
going
have
on
to
here?
understand that this is something my husband and I discussed, and he would have taken the vows also. It's not a mother-son thing, father-daughter thing. This is a parent and child thing, and my husband would have taken the vows along with us.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
I'd like to know why she didn't just make up a contract without having a marriage being involved, a
Because
wedding
this is
being
the way I
involved, and
chose
you
to
took
do
that away
it.
from him, that he should be sharing with somebody
He
that
will
he
have that
falls in love
opportunity.
with.
What-
I'll
what is
have the
he- what is he-
opportunity
what is
to
he
share
love?
with her
What's
to
been
both
taken
her
away?
love to him. She
What's
took
been
something
taken
away
away?
from him.
But see, you know, it's like
What's been taken away?
well, I've got,
Like seeing a woman in a white wedding gown.
see, I'm with
What's
you.
wrong?
I don't know.
Okay,
You
first
don't
of
know. I mean, we hear about it all the time, that 20 years later, a person says, you know, who knows? I'm not saying I'm trying to be funny, but you know, he might go into every wedding chapel in America and like just start blowing them up because
But
he didn't, you know
can
what
I
I'm
say
saying?
something? Can I say something?
It's a stupid comment.
And what you're looking at is an
First of
extreme
all-
case. That is an extreme case. Of
Yeah.
course, Montel, that can always happen. But if we're looking at a kid who appears to be psychologically stable, that won't happen.
That's right. Can I say something?
Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
First of all, the feedback that we're getting back from this audience is you're taking something very pure and very love-filled, and you're trying to make it, you're tainting it with something incestuous, and that's not what it is. You're not getting, you are not getting the point
That's
of it,
not my
okay?
argument.
There
I
is
got
nothing
that
wrong
point
with bonding
clearly.
with your child the way that you feel. Now, you might not feel,
The
you might not
impact-
bond with your child like that, okay? But if we choose to bond with our children like that, that is our prerogative. If you don't agree, you don't want your child to sleep in a bed with you, you don't feel it's appropriate to marry your child, that's fine. That is your prerogative.
This child
And
Okay,
what
stop
we
there,
did is
Tanya.
our
Child doesn't have enough
prerogative.
Okay.
ego development to handle
And
the
that's what
impact.
we're